Hello, thank you so much for coming to my channel. My name's Hannah, and I talk all things costuming, cosplay, and live events. And today we are talking about the COSI After Dark Renaissance Fair Night. So COSI stands for Center of Science and Industry, and it's been in Columbus, Ohio since 1964. It is one of the top draws for Columbus. They do monthly COSI After Dark themed events, and this is the second year that they have partnered with the Ohio Renaissance Festival to bring us a Ren Fair themed night here in Columbus. I was not able to go last year because of work, but this year I made it a priority. As soon as they announced it, I put a hold on my calendar so that I would be able to go. These After Dark events are 21 plus only, and they're from 7 to 10, but they let people start entering the building around 6:30 typically. At the entrance, they do check IDs. They also have an extensive list of costume and prop rules for the event, but it all basically boils down to making sure that your private areas are covered and that you're not wearing anything that covers your face so that we can clearly see you the whole evening, and no fake weapons or oversized props. They also stated that the staff has the right to turn you away at the door if they deem your outfit inappropriate, or you are carrying a prop weapon, or your prop is oversized and not allowed into the venue. Admission for this event is $20 in person or $30 at the door. I do think these events sometimes sell out. It was pretty crowded, so I don't know if you could still buy tickets at the door that evening, but that's just something to look out for. There are several options close for parking. I ended up in an above ground garage about a block away, and I paid $12 at the end of the night for parking, which really is not that bad for downtown Columbus. I will say the day of, I got a know before you go email, and they did include several options for parking, so that was really helpful. Unfortunately, my husband was not able to go because of work, so I went with some of my friends from the Star Wars 501st Legions. And my friend Tom even wore a Star Trek costume and got a lot of compliments, and we had an incredible time.
What year is it?
I don't know.
So this is the primitive Sasquatch in his unnatural habitat.
What I wore was a mix of purchased new and thrifted items. So my dress, my petticoat, and my lace layer skirt and my wig were all from Amazon. My corset I bought at a secondhand store. I think it was originally sold on Amazon. And my accessories were from Etsy, Shein, Target, and thrift stores. Some things I'd like to note about the event. First off, that day I had an insane day at work. So I did arrive a little later than I was hoping to. I think I got in there around 7:45 when I had wanted to be there by 7. What initially struck me when I came into this event was that there were no maps or any kind of information available for people about what was going on where. I've only been to this museum one time in the past, and that was I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. So I'm not very familiar with the layout and where I might find different activities. I did discover later that there was a map with different things happening in this room, in this room, in this room. That was posted on COSI's Instagram story. If you could at least tell people as they're entering, hey, check our Instagram story for events, that would be really appreciated. I will also note that there were not any, at least that I saw, directional signs apart from the normal permanent signs that are in this building for restrooms, stairs, elevator, all that good stuff. It just would have been really helpful to kind of find those different events. Again, I didn't realize that they were on the Instagram story. Next time I go to one of these, I will definitely be sure to look at that. Some things I did discover while wandering around with my friends. We found two large separate rooms full of Ren Fair vendors. So it was a little come shop, and there was leather goods, some other handmade goods, and it was really cute. I did not end up buying anything, but it was really fun to see all of these different creators in the space. We also stumbled upon a knighting ceremony, a little instruction on a Ren Fair style dance.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 3.
And we also met the Ohio Renaissance Fair Queen, which was really awesome. I've never met her at the fair before, so meeting her at this event was really exciting. And I also found some people doing a scavenger hunt. They had little papers. However, I could not find where to pick up those sheets to do it. Had I been able to find them, that's something I might have done. Although in hindsight, I guess I could have also asked somebody that had that, like, hey, where did you get that? There were also even more events I didn't find out about until after the night, like after I was already home for the night, until I saw it on that Instagram stories, such as jousting robots. Like, I would have eaten that up. I would have loved to go see that, but I didn't know what was happening. The big draw to these events at COSI is the drinking, alcoholic beverages, I mean. There were several bars open, including stations for jello shots. There was also themed food available. I was not really hungry. I had eaten before, but the lines for alcohol were like insanely long. Like, I felt like if I got in one of those lines, I was going to spend the entire event in a line for a drink. And that's just not something I'm interested in doing. Spending an hour in line for a 3-hour event does not seem very reasonable to me. So I was a little disappointed that I couldn't get a drink, but ultimately I think I made the right decision to just kind of wander around, talk to people, and that way my friends and I had a great time even without alcohol. So those were my few little complaints about the event. But all of that being said, I had such a great time. I really did enjoy myself, and I would absolutely do this event again. Especially now that I've been able to attend once, I've kind of gotten like a lay of the land, how these things usually work. Now I'll be able to take this knowledge and take it into the next event that I go to with them. And I hope that they continue to do these Ren Fair nights at least once a year. It's so much fun. There were so many amazing costumes. But my tips for people if they go again, I highly recommend getting there early so you can get a closer parking spot. Not that I was like super far away, but they do have an underground garage like underneath the museum itself, and that like immediately filled up for the evening. So if you want to park that close, you should probably get there a little bit sooner. And I also would say try to enter the building as early as possible. I mentioned that they let people enter the building starting at 6:30. I would try to get there earlier again. And again, like my day that day ended up being so crazy. So even though I had wanted to be there earlier, it just was not possible for me that day. I will also say maybe if you want to try this event, but you have never dressed up or something like this before, there were a lot of people that were not dressed up. I will say the majority was in costume. I would say it was a higher percent of people in costume than even at the Ren Fair. But it's great if you want to like try something out, and it's also inside a building and not outside in the middle of like the end of summer heat wave, you know what I mean? So if you want to come and you don't want to dress up, totally fine. If you want to give it a shot for the first time, go for it. It had the vibes of the Ren Fair, but it had a lower price tag attached to it, closer to the city, so not as much travel time. And honestly, overall, great vibes. 10 out of 10.
Kneel before me.
Where the hell am I?
I do hope to see more events like this in the Columbus area. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. I am dedicated to seeing events like this thrive in this area. So stay tuned, probably next week, for a funny video of my friends and I interacting with guests at the event. You'll see why we had such a great time. That brings me to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, or even share the video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.